Hey ladies, welcome back to the Soft Life channel. So in this video, we are going to talk about a topic that I feel is very important. I feel like it kind of just sets the tone for where the future videos will go. Now, before I dig in deep into that, I do want to reintroduce myself. If you did not watch the introductory video, don't really need to, but if you're curious, my name is Amanda. I am a mom of one so far, and I started this journey of wanting to really pour back into moms. I am a licensed clinical social worker, so beforehand, when I was in the field, I noticed a trend with moms putting themselves like very last on the list. Women do it, period, but when you become a mom, you definitely do it. I think it's almost like a default, right? So once becoming a mother, I really felt like, okay, I'm in it now. I see it firsthand. Let's go ahead and build this community and really, help mothers thrive better. So that's basically what I feel like a soft life is. I feel like moms deserve to not only take care of themselves, but just to be in a stable place for mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Like, you deserve stability. You deserve to be a priority. You deserve to be well rounded all around and not live a stressful, chaotic life. So I'm here to help you change that, help you gain your soft life. So stay with me. So, yes, ladies. So today's video is going to be about identity. So I'm just going to give like a quick little rundown of what identity is, specifically for where I want to go with this video. So identity, we keep it short and simple, is basically just knowing who you are. So knowing who you are and understanding who you are. Identity is basically made up of different layers. So we think of it like an onion, right? There's many layers to an onion, so there's many layers to your identity. Now we'll focus on the core that holds all these layers together. So I think it's important to focus on the core because it's where your foundation is. It's what you work from, from the choices you make, the way you behave, the way you show up in the different roles in your life, you know, your beliefs. It's like your belief system, where that operates from. So, moms, like I said, because we are focused on the core of what our identity is, that's something that we need to truly work from. Now, I say that this is important for moms to discuss, and I feel like it gets overlooked, it's not talked about enough, is because we go through this big shift, right, of motherhood. Fun fact, the transition into motherhood, there's actually a word for it. It's called matrescence. Yes. So matrescence happens each time you go through the transition into being a mother. So each pregnancy you go through it, it's going to look different each time, right? Which makes sense, right, to a mother, because every pregnancy is different, and every child is different. You can't even raise your kids the same. So it makes sense that matrescence happens each time, you know. So no, you're not crazy if you felt like, first time, was a struggle. Okay, second time I kind of got it together, but this third and fourth and fifth, sixth, whatever time was really a struggle, even more than the first one. You're not crazy. It's natural. That is matrescence. It's a new experience each time you transition into motherhood. No matter if it is your fourth or fifth or sixth time doing it, it's different. And so give yourself grace. I know they give first time moms a lot of grace, right? Give you the benefit of the doubt. But then second baby, okay, a little bit, because now you gotta add two. Third baby, okay, girl, you should already have this together. But no, that's not the case. So I just want to throw that out there too. So because of this big transition, I think it's important that we sit and we evaluate what our identity is. Because like I said, it's layers to this, but you need to make sure that you're always working from your foundation. That's what will help you maintain your identity. And ladies, it's okay if your identity obviously is going to shift, right? Because you're adding, something into your life, but it's okay if you're not the same that you was a year or two ago, or whatever the case may be. Even not the same person yesterday. I mean, like, literally, we are adaptable creatures. We go through changes. You're not even the same as you grow older. So no one should expect for your identity to just remain the same always, but know that the identity will take a big shift when you are going through a big transition. that is normal. So, as we dive into this topic, I want to just encourage you to really sit and evaluate your identity now that you become a mom. Whether it's your first or second, third, fourth, I don't care. If you are done having children, you like, been a mom for about 10 years, it doesn't matter. Have you really sat and like really thought like, okay, who am I now that I become a mother? Because you're not just a mother, you know what I mean? You're not just a mother. You are a person that has a child. Like, who are you underneath? Like I said, all those. Who are you underneath all of those roles? Who are you underneath all of that? So I mentioned that we're working from the core, right? Your foundation. And went ahead and gave you the definition of identity, and then I'll let you know a little bit of a little bit of educational piece onto the transition of motherhood and why that is so valuable for this topic. It's valuable because it's natural to feel like you have lost your identity, like you lost yourself in motherhood. It's natural to feel that way because of that big shift. You probably never sat and kind of reevaluate where you're currently at, and then where you're trying to go. So it's natural to feel like you're kind of in limbo, right? You're just kind of going through the motions, kind of just doing our thing. We're like just flowing through life. And you kind of would know if you're just flowing, if you're just on like an autopilot. If you're on autopilot, you would kind of realize that based on looking at your environment, looking at the choices you made, over time, looking at how you maintain certain things. Like, it'd be obvious in your environment of how it would be obvious in your environment with how you are navigating life. And I want to encourage you that just because you're somebody's mother does not mean you have no time for yourself. It doesn't mean that you should be last on the list. It does not mean that you are just stuck in this role and that's all you are able to give. We give enough with the job. We give enough with, family members and with friendships and even pets. Like, we give a lot of ourselves to somebody, but make sure we are giving something to us. So yes, we need to sit and really think about who we are now. Understand who we are now. Being a mother takes on a lot of responsibilities, and a lot of changes come with it. So I think it's fair to say that your identity obviously has changed, but we need to go back to the core. Who were you before you became a mother? Who were you, as you were entering into adulthood? Who were you at growing up? Like, reevaluating what makes you you, removing those titles. What makes you you? Give you another example on why identity is so important. It even affects your habits. As I mentioned before, right? Identity has the layers, right? And with all those different layers, like I said, we have the core. You work from the core, right? So this contributes to your belief system as well. So, for example, if you want to change a habit, you have to change your identity. So an example to kind of back that up is say that you really want to be in shape, right? But you cannot stand the workout process. Like, you can't stand the aches, the sweating. Like, it's just too much, right? And trust me, a lot of moms we want to get in shape, but we don't want to do the work. It's probably not even a mom thing. I'm sure that's like 95% of America. Anywho, I digress. So you would have to take on a new identity to be able to change not only your mindset, clearly, right, because it helps with the mindset, but in order to really achieve that new habit you're trying to do, right? The new habit is that you want to be able to work out, let's just say once a week. You want that to become the norm in your schedule. So your new identity would be, I am the person that prioritizes my physical health, or I am a person that takes care of my body. I am a person that respects my physical health, or I am a physical health. So basically, It's just strange. Basically, the new identity piece just shifts your belief system. You have to believe in order to change the habit. So no, it doesn't take the motivation piece. Yeah, it takes discipline as well, but you have to have a reason to be disciplined. So anyway, not to get in a tangent with that, but that's just an example to show you why identity is so important, because it's something you're working from. Like, I have 2 reflection questions for you, but before I dive into that, I do want to make this point, say this, because I think it's really important. You may not really enjoy writing, probably really don't want to do these prompts. I understand. We've got out of the habit of really wanting to write, which I think is terrible. But I will say this: if you are not reflecting and processing in life, you are stagnant. That might really be the reason why you're not moving anywhere, because you're not taking the time to sit with your thoughts, sit with those emotions, and kind of just figure out where you're trying to go. If you have no direction, you're not getting anywhere. This is that flowing through life, just go with the wind. And that's causing you more chaos and stress than's necessary. So I encourage you, even if you're not a writer, you can do voice memo if you want to. Just sit with these 2 questions and allow yourself to just flow. Just sit with these 2 questions and give yourself time to process, because I think that's really important. As emotional beings that we are, it's really important for us to take time, at least once a week if you can. You can take at least one time a week, just to sit and process. I promise you, it would do wonders for the mind, right? Women, our minds are like, we're everywhere, and this is why we need to just sit for a second and get it together. 5 minutes will do you justice. Build on that, but at least start with 5 minutes. But anyway, the 2 prompts is who was I before becoming a mother? The second one is, who do I desire to be now? Just sit with those. I want to say this: if it's okay if nothing pops up right away, just put I don't know, and then come back to it, because maybe your mind isn't really ready to share with you. When I say mind, I really mean your subconscious mind. Maybe you're just not ready to really reveal the answers yet, because you might not be in the space. You just may not be ready, but trust me, you know the answer to these questions. I feel like this topic was important, as I said before, to reevaluate, to reiterate why identity is so important, especially for moms, is because we easily lose ourselves into the different roles that we play. The different roles we have to manage, we lose ourselves in that. And you don't deserve to lose yourself, because God didn't just put you here to be a caregiver. It's a blessing to be a caregiver. It's a blessing to love somebody else, right? It's a blessing to take care of other people. But that's not all you were meant to do. There's more to you. That's why there's layers. So I hope you found this video to be helpful. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And also let me know any future topics that you want more insight on. I'm open to it all. So yes, ladies, I will see you next Wednesday.